Hi guys, welcome back to Earth to Rosita. So today I feel energized to rant about this because I've been on the progressive side, the progressives, and I've been on, like this whole vegan community. I've been on both spectrums. So I've been on the progressive, left-leaning side of the vegan community, and I've been on the conservative side. I'm on the conservative side of the vegan community, and I gotta tell you, there's a lot of, conservatives, libertarians, truthers that aren't just as bad as the progressive, left leaning vegans, but in their own ways. So, the first thing is, just like completely ridiculous. This whole like conspiracy that Bill Gates wants. I mean, it's not exactly a conspiracy, but I think that, of course, Bill Gates wants us to stop eating animals, but this is not for the honorable reason or the compassionate, empathetic reason. It is because of control, like he wants us to eat his plant-based meat. It's not vegan meat because vegan entails, ethics, and the plant-based meat that Gates wants to push on the population has been tested on animals. So, like it is the best mock meat on the market, but at the same time it's the worst because of I kind of understand the conspiratorial side to it all, and that's why I generally stay away from the Gates mock meat. I mean, I have eaten it before I, realized the conspiratorial side to it and why I would never support Gates or any of his work ever again. But now reflecting back and just going and kind of like thinking about how my body felt at times whenever I did eat the mock meat and stuff, it wasn't all that great. It did taste amazing. I know that some people who aren't vegan, who don't live by vegan principles, have tried it and say that it's good. Some others say that it's horrible. There's a couple of things. I'm just rambling. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to address because I hear this a lot. So, this whole spiel about I tried to go vegan and I failed on the diet. So, okay, so the first thing I wanted to really address in the conservative community is this whole idea that you try to go vegan and you fail on the diet, so you failed veganism. Therefore veganism is, this whole bad thing, and it's just they're trying to kill us with veganism. So what you're as a actual person who lives by actual vegan principles, I have to tell you, you sound fucking retarded. Sorry, like you really do. So you sound retarded because you're basically saying they want to kill us by having us live by a principle that seeks to stay away from animals being exploited and killed on my behalf. That's what you're basically saying. So if that was a little bit, if I didn't say that in the most easy to understand way, basically vegan principles, the vegan philosophy, veganism is a philosophy. It's not a diet. It's a moral stance. It's a moral movement. It's It's based on this idea that if we can live without, mass breeding animals, abusing them, exploiting them, killing them, aka murdering them, as far as possible and practicable, shouldn't we try? Or should we always just, have this mindset where it's okay to kill, it's okay to exploit, it's okay to enslave those below us, as if there's no moral abhorrency behind that, as if there's no karmic debt behind that, as if there's no integration of natural law behind that. Like, a lot of conservatives are pro-vegan. No, not pro-vegan, sorry. A lot of conservatives are pro-life, yet they seem to get really stuck on veganism. Because veganism is just this idea that... No, veganism simplified is pro-life, but to animals as well, not just humans. That's basically what veganism is. Hold on, I'm trying to find something that I wrote last night on my Twitter, which you can follow, by the way, at @PiscesRose_, so that I don't get sidetracked, because I already am. I'm already rambling, and I'm doing it again. I can't shut up. Okay, so last night I wrote this rant. If you tried to go vegan and failed eating plant-based because you didn't do the following: get blood work done, read and learn about proper plant-based nutrition, if you didn't give your body time to adjust, if you didn't read ingredients, if you didn't cleanse rice before eating it. Trust me, this is very important. So the reason why this is important is because, have you ever actually, you have to put water into rice, right? So when you go to cook your rice and you add water to it, have you noticed that most of the time, or pretty much all the time, the water turns kind of like a whitish gray? That's not because it's just, reflecting the color of the rice. It's because that needs to be cleaned out. You're drinking, sorry, I got a phone call. You are allowing some kind of a substance to be integrated into your rice as you cook it. If you don't cleanse it, if you don't clean your rice, then I don't know what that does to the body, but I was always taught from the moment I started cooking to cleanse the rice, to get all of that, to make sure that it's not so white. The water isn't so white. It's not healthy. So, imagine eating food that has been mixed up with this substance that might be dirty, that might be toxic to the body. No wonder, and that's, when you're eating plant-based, that's part of your protein. So it's no wonder people get sick, or no wonder it doesn't work with their body, because you're kind of you're allowing toxicity or some substance that you don't know what it does to your body be integrated into your food. You know what I'm saying? Make sure the plant-based foods are all sourced from good places, especially pasta, bread, and legumes. So this is something that I've been learning as well. When you eat legumes, for example, like beans and lentils and stuff like that, some of us get bloated, and it got me to thinking, maybe it's because of, not just because of just some random thing, but what is the root of these things? When you're eating pasta, even Like, carbs aren't bad, you know? Carbs are not bad. Then how, like, if carbs are bad, then how do Italians, which carbs are a main part of their dishes, you know, like pasta, spaghetti, that kind of thing. If carbs are so bad, then how are Italians okay? You know what I'm saying? So maybe try to buy food that is imported from Italy or some other European country. If you're worried about, if you're having a problem with bloating, instead of going to a grocery store, like a grocery chain where all your food is sourced from Australia or like your own country, it might be cheaper, but it might not be better for you in the long run, because the way that they're, you know, the way that they're growing the food out here, or Australia or America or any other Western country except for Europe, it might not be that great because of the way that it's grown. So really think about these things. Where is your food grown? Is it grown properly? Is it grown with pesticides being sprayed into it? What's causing all these issues in plant-based diets? There has to be something deeper than this, you know? Like, it can't just be, oh, because plant-based diets are so bad. If plant-based diets are so bad, then how are vegetarians or vegans in other countries thriving? Anyways, get your mind right. The mental strength is just as important as eating well. So this is another point that I really need to address. Like, imagine being a conservative vegan or conservative plant-based dieter or whatever. Most of the conservative sorry, I just honked my horn. Most of conservatives are, you know, they're carnivores. They only eat animal flesh. Most conservatives, they are very anti-vegan, unfortunately, or they're not, you know, a fan of veganism as a moral stance or as a diet. Or, like, they're not pro plant-based dieting because they think that you would die without meat. Without animal flesh. It's just crazy that they don't see how satanic they sound. So get your mind right. Stop listening to these people. If you're having health issues, have the mental strength to get through it. And this is something that I will proudly say, I mean, not proudly, but like, I will say, I've struggled on the plant-based diet myself. There were days when I couldn't get out of bed. There were days when I was lethargic. There were days when, you know, I couldn't do it, you know, and I thought maybe it's because plant-based diets are just not healthy, but the mental strength that I had was, you know what, no, stop, Rosie, stop. You're gonna get out of bed, gonna go and get your blood work done. You're not gonna go back to killing animals. Like, what? That's just it was something I thought of because of all the ex-vegans coming out. But at the end of the day, you have to, God gave you a brain and God gave you will and power so that you can create the reality that you want, you know? And if you are so mentally weak, if you are, like, we created phones that connect us to people all over the world, y'all. But we can't, like, we created cars that drive us all around the country. We created airplanes that are modeled after a bird because of the wings. We can do anything, but if we can't even, but you expect me to believe that we can't thrive on a plant-based diet, it's ridiculous like, you have to see how it's ridiculous when I say it like this, can't you? Like, we did everything, but you can't survive on a plant-based diet? No, doesn't add up. Anyways, that's the end of that rant. Where was I up to? Ask longtime vegans for help if struggling. Understand calories, protein, healthy fats. Never... Wait. Sorry, something here I said here doesn't make sense. Have never bought your food from a farmer's market. So, this is I just got scrambled. This is not... I just did it again. This is another thing. Maybe it's my vegan diet. Anyways. This is another thing. Like, try to buy your produce, like vegetables, fruit, legumes, from farmers markets or small businesses like Middle Eastern stores or Indian stores. Buy those things from farmers markets instead of big grocery chains like Woolworths or Kohl's or some other American big grocery chains, down Costco or something, I don't know. Take care of your gut biome. This is a big one. When I learned about the gut biome and how, it, like, having a healthy gut biome as opposed to having an unhealthy gut biome is an advantage over, like, just any diet. But also, like any diet, you have to have a clean gut biome. And fasting helps with this. Drinking kombucha helps with this. Fermented foods help with this and stuff like that. Eat nuts, seeds, herbs, or soy. Wait, if you didn't eat nuts, seeds, herbs, or soy out of fear of something. If you did avoid all oils. Yes, there are oils that are bad, but it's not all of them. If you did drink tap water, it's better to drink I'm really not on it today. If you did drink bottled water, it's better to drink bottled water without fluoride or chlorine or any of that other crap. If you did try too hard to be natural and not mix things up, not giving your diet variety, junk food and mock meat isn't all bad here and there. So this is a very controversial take amongst conservative vegans, because conservative vegans are, anti this whole woke agenda, and they think that Bill Gates' mock meat is tied into everything. But what they didn't understand is that mock meat is not a result of globalists trying to kill you, but mock meat is a result of vegan activists actually doing activism. This is a world that you've probably never been in before, and you haven't followed it closely. So I understand why you are misinformed on where the origins of mock meat started. But mock meats started because when vegan activists were doing activism, the most common thing that people were saying when they said, I don't want to give up meat, is because it tastes so good. Well, this sprung up an idea for activists or innovators or whatever you want to call it to create mock meats. So if you don't, like, it's an alternative. It's an alternative to replace that taste for different cultural dishes. And this isn't this isn't trying to kill you. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to. But it's like it's a comfort food of sorts. Like, vegans don't go vegan because they don't like the taste of animal flesh. It's just that they don't want to kill animals, you know? We don't want to kill animals. But we can have it both ways. That's the beauty of capitalism, of the free market, guys. We can have it both ways. We can eat the mock meat and be you don't have to, but it's there as an option if you wanted it. But yeah. Anyways. And this is a big one. If you did have a fear of supplementing, thinking that it makes you a failure or it's not natural, kind of like being on the phone is not natural, kind of like compared to like thousands of years ago, driving these cars around is not natural. It's like, what is wrong with taking a supplement? My mother, who isn't even a plant-based eater or a vegan, she takes vitamins, and there's nothing wrong with supplementing. There really isn't. I just don't understand the big deal. So that is the rant that I wanted to go off on, and I think that I did a good job, and I think that I got my point across. These are things that you, if you did or didn't do any of or few of these, it's kind of obvious why you failed. It's not fair to be so sure that it was the vegan diet, you know. That's all that I'm trying to say. That's the point that I'm trying to get across. And I think that I did okay, but it's just I'm so tired of people justifying cruelty to animals when it's so needless. It's so needless. Like, this is where I have to get into a heartfelt rant. Guys, this is genuinely so needless. You have, like, if you're living in the Western world where you have all of these options available to you, you can do it. You can. You have so many plant-based foods. And this is coming from somebody who's been to, you know, poor countries. You have no idea how fucking lucky you are to be living in a place like America or Australia or even Europe. You have no idea the abundance that you have of plant-based options, of mock meats and cheese, of milk. I've been to, you know, third world countries, and it's not impossible to be a plant-based dieter over there. It's actually growing because of the influence of the West, but it's just, you go to a grocery store or a farmer's market in America, and then you go to a farmer's market in Vietnam. There is no farmer's market in Vietnam. They sell vegetables on the street. You know, there is no olive oil in Vietnam. I mean, there is, but it's more pricey, and it's a specialty store, but it's not as common as, you know, vegetable oil, which is in every grocery store. You go to a farmer's market in America or Australia, there's like 3 different types of spinach. You go to an Indonesian one, it's like, there's no spinach. There's no packed spinach. There's no English spinach, guys. You have so much. You have so many options to eat plant-based, but you're just acting like you're in a third world country. And it's just not the case. It's not the case. You can sustain yourself on a plant-based diet in America. You can. It's just, you choose to go for the cruel options that mass breeds, abuses, exploits animals, and it's completely needless. It's so unnecessary. It doesn't have to be this way. It really doesn't. And that's what makes it so infuriating and so sad for the animals, and infuriating because vegans are trying to tell you, like moral, ethical vegans who are taking the ethical, not the moral stance, are trying to tell you, it doesn't have to be this way. It really doesn't. And you don't have to eat the fucking animal over the fucking tofu. The tofu is not going to feminize you. It's not going to do anything to your body. Soy is phytoestrogen. It's plant estrogen. Plant estrogen doesn't do anything to the body except, like, it doesn't taste as good when it's not seasoned. So maybe it'll make you dissatisfied if you're not seasoning the fucking tofu well. But it's like, there are men who are eating soy that have not become feminized. If soy is feminizing, where the fuck are my tits? I don't have tits, guys. I don't have tits. It's like, this is why there's no justification for any of it. So, I don't know. Do with this what you will. I don't think that this is going to convince anyone to go be a plant-based dieter, or it's just something to think about, because you have so many options in front of you, and you choose the cruelty, you choose the Satan diet, you choose the flesh-based diet. You're eating flesh. You're eating flesh. Do you not understand how fucking crazy that is? You're made out of meat. I'm made out of, I have meat. I could be fattened up like a factory farm fucking animal, and some higher species can come and decide and kill me. This is where empathy is needed. Have empathy for fucking animals, y'all. Like, it's not hard to put yourself into the position of an animal. Like, you're not a psychopath, are you? Do you not have any conscience? It's not being feminized to try to be a civil society for real. Like, it's... Oh... I want to keep on ranting about this. I could rant about this all day long, because I'm so passionate about it. But like, my voice is just so bad right now. It's cracked a couple of times, I think. But it's just, it frustrates me. And it's not just the diet. The diet is a big part of it. Like, worldwide, we're killing trillions and trillions of animals. Farm, land, and sea animals included. But then you take into account other ways that humans exploit animals, and it's completely fine by human standards. It's, hunting, trophy hunting for animal flesh to be eaten. What else do we do? Like, medicine, entertainment, keeping them in zoos, using them as medical, scientific experiments and we also, like, clothing, fur farms, like fur farms and leather and silk. It's like, it's all of this is fucking evil, and it's the evil that is underground. Like, it's the evil that is so normalized, so ingrained into your psyche, that you don't even think twice about it. It's fucking crazy to me. It's absolutely fucking crazy to me that people who are supposed to be moral, who are supposed to reach for a higher consciousness, who are supposed to be godly, don't see that this is, like, the underground is evil. Like, if there was, like, a satanic symbol, and there are victims that are just being buried, it's not just pedophile victims, it's not just, children that are being taken in by, pedophiles, elite pedophiles, but it's also the animal victims. They're both the same thing. So it's like, this is what I also talk about with karma and stuff. This is karmic debt. So you enslave animals, and then another higher, somebody that is a bit higher in the human consciousness enslaves you and does awful shit to your species. It's like if there's a paradigm of evil, the lowest form is the things that you don't even consider as victims. Animals. And then the next level to that is children, human children being targeted by the same species that thinks that they're higher than us normal people. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to like invalidate how abhorrent pedophilia is. It's abhorrent. It is. It's disgusting. I was actually, a victim of pedophilia. Technically, I was sexually abused at age 8 and 17. And it's fucked me up. I can't, and that was just, it wasn't as bad as some other people. I can't imagine what it's like to actually be raped, actually be violently raped. But this is the paradigm. This is the paradigm. It's the paradigm of evil. Like, if animal slaves, lowest thing that humans think about. They don't even think about it. They don't even consider animals as slaves. They don't even consider animals as conscious sentient beings. And then you have a certain sect of elites in our society right now that don't even consider people like you and me, the middle class, as we call it, the little people, as conscious sentient beings. They view themselves as God. They want to be God. But they don't consider little people like us worthy of respect, worthy of dignity, worthy of anything, And I think that conservatives know who I'm talking about. But it's like, it's a spiral of evil. All of it is evil. Even if you're a good, genuinely good person at heart who eats animals, you're still contributing to this circle of evil, like this spiral of evil. That's where I'm going to leave it off, because I think that was heavy, and I write about this a lot, but saying it with my face on the camera, there is a bit of, pause, but I feel like it needs to be said, because there is a spiral of evil. Why does murder still exist? Why does pedophilia still exist? It's all interconnected. All of this is interconnected evils. Bye, guys.